Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now Grand Theft Auto 4 is one of my favourite games in the series, but you've probably heard countless times about how the PC version can be quite problematic, in part thanks to its poor and inconsistent performance with certain hardware. It's not just that though, GTA 4 on PC lacks some of the magic found in the original console versions, more specifically the Xbox 360 release. Some might see the increased texture quality, customizable visuals and potential for a far higher frame rate on PC as an acceptable compromise that makes up for some of the broken or missing visual effects, but what's wrong with the best of both worlds? That's where Fusion Fix comes in. I do hope you'll stick around to watch the entirety of my video, but after that I'd suggest checking out TJGM on YouTube, who has a great video showcasing the changes that Fusion Fix brings to this game. I'll leave all relevant links down below. Fusion Fix is a comprehensive open source mod for the complete edition of GTA 4 that addresses certain things not fixed by official game updates. This feels like a community created definitive edition of the PC release in my opinion. We've got a Z fighting or texture flickering fix, a definition fix, correct depth of field scaling, better bloom, volumetric lights, volumetric fog, console style tree alpha and lighting options, distant light fixes including Project 2DFX to improve distant light accuracy, and much more. All of this combined makes for a game that I think looks so much better on PC, and not just that, a game that looks how it should. Before we take a look at some more scenes, let's talk about the install process. I used the offline installer, which was as simple as downloading it from the official site, opening it up and confirming my game's directory. In this case, I'm using the Steam version of GTA. I knew it was working because the game fired up and loaded straight away into my last save within a matter of seconds. Loading times are improved too, and there are options to skip the intro and menu, which seems to be enabled by default. Before we go any further, I want to point out that this is not a sponsored video. I'm just really excited to play through this legendary title again, albeit with this mod installed, plus a few of you have been asking me to cover it as well. The pause menu is looking a little different now too. We've got extra control options like camera centering, a camera shake toggle, extended sniper controls, the option to enable indicators for cars, which includes hazard lights for when Nico inevitably flies through the windscreen. Under the display tab we have an FOV slider, a must for any PC game in my opinion, as well as console gamma and auto exposure options, motion blur, depth of field, the aforementioned tree settings which include PC, console or PC Plus, a middle point between the two. I also enabled the previously mentioned Project 2DFX lighting option here. Aside from all this, I made sure to turn up all the additional graphics settings, including volumetric fog and sun shafts, as well as enabling SMAA and CHSS shadow filtering. I was running the original or vanilla game maxed out, and I continued to do so with Fusion Fix implemented. In terms of performance, I was looking at a 5 to 10 FPS drop with my i5 and RTX 3060 gaming laptop in DX9 mode. Now DX9 mode isn't too bad on this configuration, but there will be some points on the map that really cause things to slow down. I wouldn't say there were any severe stutters to speak of though. In the past we've used DXVK to translate DirectX calls to Vulkan. This was particularly effective with the early Intel Arc drivers. This involves downloading DXVK and installing the files manually, at least it did. We can still update DXVK manually if we want to, but Fusion Fix actually includes it, so we can toggle between DX9 and Vulkan straight from the pause menu, and a quick restart will confirm things. And I actually mean quick now. When using Vulkan, we seem to regain the performance we lost from using Fusion Fix on this hardware in the first place. What I'm saying is that GTA 4 with Fusion Fix installed, Vulkan enabled and all the graphics settings turned up will perform just as well, sometimes better, than the vanilla game in DX9 mode. I can only speak for my hardware of course, but I'd recommend giving this a try for yourselves. Let's take a look at some comparisons. You saw this park scene just now, but I want to talk about the changes in the details. Here, the console tree alpha and lighting options are noticeable, as well as the improved shadows. The colour palette also looks more vibrant, just like how I remember it looking on the Xbox 360. If you played the game on 360 originally, like I did, and you want that sort of visual experience, albeit with better performance, then this is for you. It's like I said before, why not have the best of both worlds, PC and console combined? I mentioned the Z-fighting or texture flickering earlier, something that's most noticeable when flying a helicopter over the map. Not like this though. Yeah, I don't know how this happened. Where was I? Yes, the texture flickering. You might be able to pick it up here in the original or vanilla footage. It was most prevalent with these sandy beaches. Fusion Fix seems to eliminate this. While we're up here, I want to mention the fog. Before, the distant buildings were disappearing and reappearing when we moved the camera, popping in and out of the fog. Now they remain in sight, encapsulated in a thick layer of cloud. The horizon is nicely blended into the distance too. Speaking of fog, and honestly I've always liked how it looked on PC, the foggiest of days take on an eerie feel that really suit the game's theming, and Fusion Fix only enhances this further. As we drive around this corner, the city lurks in the distance like a silhouette. The reflections look so good too. I've run a little side by side here for you to see. This area by the abandoned theme park is one of my favourites in the game. I think we saw the roller coaster in the original trailer, and it feels so nostalgic to me. A few years ago, I remember playing this again and then trying to find the real life locations on Google Street View. I think this is actually an abandoned theme park in real life too. I love how the lighting has been handled here, especially with the addition of Project 2DFX. Here are a few side-by-side shots of Liberty City at night, with the game maxed out in both the original and modded state. If you're playing on a system that can achieve decent frame rates in GTA 4 to begin with, then you should be able to run it with Fusion Fix and all the new options turned way up as well, but it is system dependent. That said, you don't have to enable everything, you can pick and choose. If you're looking to regain some of the lost or missing visual effects present on console, be it just for the sake of nostalgia, then this may be for you. Some may see this as sort of like playing an enhanced Xbox version in some respects, but I like to think of it as a community created definitive edition for PC, and as I keep saying, I'd certainly recommend trying it out. I then decided to see how things ran with my i5 12400F and RTX 4060 desktop configuration. This is my modern budget gaming setup that continues to surprise me when it comes to running modern games, and I assume that even 1440p wouldn't be a problem with the high settings in GTA 4. Once again, I was surprised for different reasons. Now GTA 4 actually runs pretty well in its original unmodded state with DX9 here. We're getting around 80 FPS overall, at least according to my short Hove Beach benchmark run. I expected to lose a few frames when installing Fusion Fix, especially with DX9 mode still enabled. Surprisingly, with the new settings turned right up, apart from motion blur and depth of field, my preferences in every game really, the average was slightly better, but the game was a little smoother overall. With Vulkan enabled instead, the frame rate increased yet again, as did the percentile numbers. This time we averaged over 100 frames per second. That said, the performance really does differ depending on where you are and of course the hardware you're using. On my laptop, Fusion Fix impacted performance negatively, with DX9 anyway. Here the opposite was true for my custom benchmark run, but there were still certain areas where this wasn't the case. It really is a mixed bag, and therefore worth trying out for yourselves to get an idea of any performance impact, because I can't say for sure whether or not it's going to be better or worse on your configuration. The modding community has really done something special with this though. It looks fantastic and it restores the much missed visual fidelity that GTA 4 on PC was lacking. So a big thank you to everyone involved with this project. That's all for this one then. Thanks to all of you for watching, and hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.